Eric asks, how can you sell a game for $2.99 and expect to make any money between the fees and shipping? You don't make anything. Well, actually, Eric, you kind of do. If you sell a game for $2.99 and then you include a $3.50 shipping charge like we do, that's a $6.49 total. And then you have about 97 cents at 15% fees. You have $3 cost for actually shipping it out. Usually we're actually a little bit lower than that in reality these days. Then maybe 20 cents for packing material, bullet mailers. That leaves you with a profit of $2.32. And usually your games cost around $1.80 to $2. So I know you're not making a lot of money, but it's a great way to recoup some dollars on some of those games that aren't really worth selling. And you just want to get rid of them. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Ask Commonlad, the series where I break down your viewer questions and we get into anything about hustling, reselling, eBay, Shopify, Instagram, whatever it is you guys have questions about. Let's break it down in today's video. Starting off with another question. Oversized letter mail with tracking, does it cost a lot more? That's a great question, Masa Nobu. It actually does. The reason is that there is no oversized letter mail option with tracking. If you do want tracking with an oversized letter mail parcel, the cheapest option is going to be to send it as a regular parcel, which unfortunately is probably going to start you at about $9 and can go all the way up to maybe for that size parcel $15 to $20 across Canada. Mattia K says, wait, you can ship a loose game for $1.30 to the US using a bubble mailer? Not exactly, and this is actually kind of a contended topic. I don't know the correct answer to this, so if I say something wrong here, just hear me out. But I know for international items, you can't send them with stamps if there's an item in them because you need a customs form. The item can be returned to you for not having a customs form and filling it out. However, with the States, it's a little bit more iffy, especially if it's a disc. You could probably get away with it and just send it letter mail, but it's not going to cost you $1.30. If it's under, I believe it's under 50 grams in the States for oversized letter mail, it's going to be starting off at $3.19, which is the regular rate for over 100, under 200 in Canada. So you're going to be paying a little bit more, but I suppose, yeah, you could probably get away with it as long as that's allowed with the cross-border thing. Wolf Den Family Resale asked, where do you get your game box holders? Probably talking about these guys back here. If you're talking about the ones that are a little bit further over there, which you can't see on the screen, they were sold at the dollar store for about $2 a bin, and they hold about 18 games perfectly, but they don't sell them anymore. So I'll direct you to the cardboard boxes that I use right here, which are 18 by 8 by 6 boxes from Uline. Canadian Dividend Investing said, you should make mystery boxes, haha. You know what? I actually have thought about that in the past. Maybe not mystery boxes. Like, I'm sure if I was selling it to you guys, it'd be fun to do like some reseller mystery boxes that you guys could buy and maybe be able to make some money on. But on a grander scheme of things, I think it'd be really cool to do some bundled mystery box kind of things with some games, like 10, 8 title Xbox games, whatever, or it's 15 sports games that are all different from whatever. I don't know. I think it could be cool to do some like mystery kind of bundles though in that sense for different consoles. That may also just be a stupid idea on my part, but it's something to look at. Enrique said, I do have one question. I watched another vid and they talk about cheaper shipping rates. So they've used this place called Shipping Express or something. Where I live, it's basically Canada Post, FedEx, or UPS. Do you use Canada Post for everything, even your bigger box items? Well, the answer is kind of tricky. I think what you're talking about is called Stallion Express, and they're another one of those kind of cross-border shipping services like Chit Chats or any of those that offer a discounted rate. Unfortunately, they're only available in certain cities. Where I am here in Toronto, I believe we actually do have them, but I actually haven't really used them. Haven't found a need to. My package rates are pretty good with my business discount, as well as the idea that the buyers are paying for shipping, so I haven't touched them. But I definitely know of some people that use them and like them, so perhaps it's something to look into if you live in one of the cities where they offer that service. GC Polarin asks, and I'm only going to respond to the first two questions here, do you refund shipping overcharges? And the answer to that is no, because oftentimes we'll undercharge for shipping as well, and it nets out, and usually the buyers don't care either. That's the price that we set for shipping. Maybe it includes some handling. It literally says shipping and handling on eBay. So if it's, less than what we charge the buyer, we just consider it a handling fee. And if it's more than what we charge the buyer, we send it out and we can use that extra money to pay for it. Second question, do you use the flat rate boxes from Canada Post? The answer to that is also no. And the reason is because I find that most of the time with the box that size, you can actually get a cheaper rate just going to the post office and sending it to probably 90% of the places in Canada. If you're not sending something to the far north or maybe to the other coast, generally speaking, you can buy a shipping label for a box the same size for much cheaper than they're charging you on the flat rate boxes. So I don't really touch them. That being said, Canada Post has sent me some free ones and I've used those, but that's about it. Canadian Dividend Growth Investing asks, any new bulk coming soon? I'm assuming you're talking about video games, and the answer is of course. There's always new bulk video games coming in here. We always have some in transport. We always have some that we're looking at or deals that we're trying to work out. And then we always have some that we're working on right now. On the table beside me, I've got a whole pile of games I'm working on right now. And that's just always how it is. AB Profit says, awesome stuff, guys. Where are you getting your games in bulk like that? I don't think I can tell you guys. I'm just kidding. I can. A couple different places, eBay auctions and things of that nature for large video game lots. Subscribers have reached out to me, and friends and family, and people will always be sending me stuff or selling me stuff. So we work out deals there, as well as we have some sources that we've developed over the last few years that are repeatedly coming with us for lots and stuff and selling us stuff that way. Additionally, Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, other online platforms, maybe garage sales, thrift stores. There's a whole bunch of ways you can actually source stuff if you're new to the business. I also have to comment on this. Jealous of your workspace and how organized it is. It is organized, except for when it's not, which is probably the other half of the time when I'm not filming. You see, it takes a lot of time for me to actually organize before I shoot most of the time, because this office is only about 300 square feet. It goes out further if I need the space, but the actual office I'm in right now is about 300 square feet. And that means that things just go everywhere, and it's just usually 90%, not 90% of the time, maybe 50% of the time, it's a disaster. Like right now, it's a disaster, except for the parts that you see behind me, which are very clean. But I mean, generally speaking, yes, we do operate with a very organized system. I highly recommend doing that for anybody that's starting out. The more organized you are, the faster you'll be able to work, and the better your show will run. Resell Hobo again said, just curious, with so many people reselling games, how do you make any money? That's a good and fair question, but you have to look at it as a very, very broad market. So whether we were selling them or not really isn't going to affect the market price, as well as many of the other sellers out there. So for the most part, the market's not flooded. These are games that aren't being produced anymore, so there's a limited number of them available in circulation, which means that if you have one, they're going to hold their value, which is really cool. It's kind of like the same as like the PS5, which is even a worse example because they're making more of them. But when people were flipping them, there was only a limited number of them, which is what brought the value up. So it didn't really matter how many people were reselling them. It's just about how many total numbers of units there were, which they derived their value from. So as competitive as it can be, and yes, there's room to adjust prices, there's still plenty of room to make money in this industry. Matthew asked, where do you get your bubble mailers from? Historically, I've always gotten them from Chinese suppliers, whether it be through Alibaba or even through eBay, but more recently, I have switched over to a US supplier that I found externally, and I quite like the bubble mailers that they're providing for a very good price. Unfortunately, I can't give you guys a name, but definitely check out on eBay and other platforms for just as cheap as bubble mailers, even Uline, Staples, and places like that, and just compare the prices until you find one that you like. Mark said, about the stickers, leave them unless it's a valuable game, or switch cases, and that's not a bad idea. I've been struggling a lot here, as you guys may know, with taking stickers off of cases, trying to get the best value for them by obviously having them all clean and looking brand new. But unfortunately, it comes with time, and time is something that we can't really always afford down here. So I think it's something that we might look into, maybe leaving some stickers on for some of the cheaper games. I'll have to talk to my partner Airval about that, but it's definitely an option. SMR919 said, I'm not sure that 10 listings an hour is easily achievable though when you take into account sourcing, testing, cleaning, picturing, listing, postage prep, and posting. It would make an interesting video to see how fast you and Airval could do all of that though. And luckily for you, Airval's actually made that video. So yeah, 10 games an hour is definitely possible. In fact, when Airval and I did it and we tried it out, or at least Airval tried it and I've tried it on my own. He did it in a video if you guys want to go check that out on his channel. But when I did it, I'm able to accomplish much more than 10 games an hour. You just have to have the systems in place and have the workflow and know what you're doing enough to get that amount done in a certain amount of time. But definitely check out Airval's video on it. He did a whole kind of follow-up to my video, kind of explain how that's possible. So definitely check it out. Final question here from Thomas. It says, I always see sports games which don't move. What do you recommend for sports games? That's a great question, Thomas. First of all, try not to buy them. They don't move. And except for a very few copies or titles that do actually move, but for the most part, most of them are just gonna sit on your shelves and take up space. That being said, I shouldn't say they don't move entirely, because if you do list them and you're willing to wait long enough, most of the time you will actually sell them if you have them priced right. But I would still start by saying, don't pick them up, or at least try not to. I understand there's a lot where you want half of the stuff's really good and half of it's sports games. When you do the math and you're like, it still works out. So you buy the lot, you got half of them, which are really good, and then you got all these sports games to deal with. Well, what can you do with them? You could list them and then wait a year and see if they all sell for the $2.99 and $3.99 that they're going to bring in. And as we discussed at the beginning of this video, it is actually possible to make money on them that way. But if you really want to speed things up, I would just recommend bundling them up. The best way to bundle sports games is to do like all the Maddens for the Xbox 360, all the NHLs for the PS2, and just save them as you get them and then make those bundles accordingly. Test them all and clean them all, and then you'll actually be able to get some pretty good money doing those kind of bundles. But if you can't do that, or if you don't have time for that, or not enough games to do that, you could just bundle them all and sell them as is. You won't get probably the same amount as you would for getting them individually or in smaller bundles, but you'll still get something back for them. Guys, that is going to bring an end to today's video. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you guys did enjoy it, let me know by leaving a like down below on this video, and also leaving a comment with any questions that you have that you want me to reply to in the next video. Looking forward to that as always. I'm super excited to hopefully continue this series. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will see you guys all in the next video.